what do the fans expect? You know, I was talking about like the fans here want the emotion. You know, is you think it's a U.S. mentality or overall, or like overall?
Japanese psychology is different than American psychology, and not different. It's still about winning and losing, but I'll explain. The reason that there is such a large audience for football, baseball, and basketball in the United States is because the vast majority of us have played it either as kids, either in our backyards, at family reunion, and the driveway. Certainly, you know, a lot of people have played it as organized sports in school. So they all have a physical relationship with what's happening on the field. To make you understand, that's why hockey is a bigger sport and a bigger draw in Canada than it is in the United States, because more people played hockey as kids than they did here in the United States. That's why soccer is bigger all over the rest of the world than it is here in the United States. Soccer is growing, and why is it growing as far as a spectator sport? Because more people are playing it as children. And, you know, another 10, 15 years, you'll see a boom in soccer. You'll start seeing more professional soccer organizations. And they'll actually start to draw an audience. The point I'm trying to make is that in Japan, the national sport in Japan is, does anybody know?
Wrestling, I believe.
No, it's sumo.
Sumo.
It's judo.
Judo.
Judo. They play judo, and the term is play. They play judo in school. Like you would play in PE, you would play baseball or football or, you know, touch football or basketball.
Right.
They play judo. So everybody in the audience physically knows what it feels like to be thrown, physically knows what it feels like to be choked out, physically knows what it feels like to have an armbar put on. They know what it feels like to tap out. So when they're watching the match, they have a physical relationship with it that people here in the United States or in other countries don't. You follow?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, like, and I mentioned this to a couple of young guys who were beating the living crap out of each other. And I said, why are you doing that? And they said, well, we want to make them believe it's real. I said, you're never going to make them believe it's real. And they, what are you talking about? I said, because that's not what's fake. The ring, if you ask anybody, you just go up and ask somebody in Walmart, what's the ring in professional wrestling? They'll tell you it's either a trampoline or a mattress.
Exactly.
Yeah, they love that stupid trampoline analogy that I have no idea where they got this from.
Look at how they bounced off.
If you've ever been in a ring, you know that thing sometimes is hard as a brick. Yeah,
it's hard.
Well, listen, if you can't get them to believe that the ring is nothing more than a trampoline or a mattress, no matter how hard you hit the other guy, do you think they're ever going to believe it? No. And why? Because they're never going to believe that no matter how hard you hit the other guy, that you were using it to beat him.
Well, yeah, I think the reality of it
about wrestling is that it's not about winning and losing. It was about that's the only thing that's fake. And listen, these guys haven't reinvented the wheel. There were guys that were beating the living crap out of each other back in the 50s and the 60s. They were kicking. Man, believe me, I worked with a lot of them when I first spoke into business, and they would kill you. I mean, literally kill you. But at the end of the day, that wasn't what was fake. Greg Valentine was never fake when it came to laying in forearms and stuff. His dad, Johnny Valentine, oh, my God, what a crowbar. Never fake. Ronnie Garvin, never fake. But then you'd watch him get beat. Bruiser Brody, never fake. But when he got beat, it was fake.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's because the real thing about professional wrestling is the conflict. Everybody can relate to having an issue with somebody, and the conflict between two people is what draws you in. Obviously, that's going to be the big factor, and I think that's what's the factor in everything we watch, from professional sports to theater to movie. Yeah. It's the conflict.
Hey, how funny
it's the characters that you relate to, the personalities, the whys and the wherefores that created that conflict.
Yeah,
absolutely.